This is Athletes Lives Network exclusive interviews. Today our special guest is Coach Dave Bogowski, better known as Coach E. How you doing, Coach E?
Great, Carl. How you doing?
Doing well. I want to thank you for being on this actually exciting interview. A lot of people want to hear from you. A lot of ex-players who actually loves you as a coach. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, no problem. Thank you for coming all the way down here to the house.
All right.
You did all the work.
Well, our first question is just tell us about who you are, your early athletic experiences.
Well, I had a great 5 years at East Chicago Central, and had a great experience. Had some tremendous assistant coaches, as well as great football players. We had great support from the community and the faculty as well. So. And you throw the administration in, and you get a little bit of success, which we were able to have. We had a lot of fun there. Prior to that, I was the defensive coordinator at Illinois Benedictine College. I was a head football coach at Crete-Monee for a few seasons before my 5 years at IBC. Taught down in St. Louis for a year, and was the offensive line coach at Northeast Missouri State. So. Got a lot of years in. Yes. Now retired at Crown Point.
All right. Now in 1983, you was nominated as the Coach of the Year with Crete-Monee High School. Give us a little feedback on that experience.
Well, I got very, very lucky at Crete-Monee. When I got there, it just didn't have the right athletes out for the sport. So. When I left there, I thought I was a real good coach, but I think anybody could be a real good coach with the players we had. We had a tight end that ended up being a 3-year starter in the SEC in basketball. We had a wide receiver that started for 3 seasons at Northern Illinois. We had a running back by the name of Frank Boyd that was a 3-year starter at Northwestern. So you throw all that together and you can have some pretty good teams.
Gotcha. Now in 1989, you decided to be the coach at East Chicago Central. What made you come to East Chicago Central after the program had some down years with Coach Rich Neely?
Well, I think the first thing was that was way before my wife and my mother-in-law done such a wonderful job with Seattle Suttons. So we were just a young couple with a young family, and I was in the Catholic education. I needed more money, Carl. So I looked into getting back into the public education. I was at the National Football Coaches Association convention, and East Chicago had left out a wonderful brochure advertising nationally for a head coach, with me being just not too far away, growing up in the Chicago Heights and Park Forest area. Obviously, I was well aware of East Chicago and some of their great athletic traditions, and felt, well, heck, if they had put 2 of those schools together, there's no reason why I shouldn't at least explore it and see what opportunities laid ahead of me at ECC.
Gotcha. Now, your first year there in 1989, the team went 3-6. Give us a little insight on that season, on the positives and also negatives, if there was, as far as the record.
Well, number one, our numbers were really down. Number two, East Chicago had, as far as administration, I received much more support in terms of assistant coaches, being able to recruit the assistant coaches to come into the program. And I think the biggest thing that happened is, number one, we were able to get a lot of guys that had college coaching experience to come with me. And then number two, we won a huge game at home in our opening game. Eric Irving had a great game, and our numbers were still low for what we felt was a 5A program that should be on suburban level. And our numbers were only in the 40s or the 50s. Well, when we upset them, I had a ton of kids wanting to come out and interested in football, which we welcomed with open arms. You know, we knew we were in the infancy stage, and we needed to get the interest up, and that was a big win, even though we only had 2 more the rest of the season.
Gotcha. So next year, 1990, the team go 4-6, which is much improvement. But what actually improved in that ball club?
Well, the biggest thing that happened was our first season. When we got done with it, the beginning, I felt like we could open up the field and horizontally and vertically with our team speed. The thing that we found was our lack of experience in football was so far behind the teams that we were trying to catch up to. And I'm talking about back in those days, Lake Central was a tremendous program. Munster was very good. Crown Point was very good. Maryville was very good. We felt we could be on that level. And for us to be on that level, we were looking at our program, and we felt with the weight room facility, the athletic facility that was provided at East Chicago Central, along with our strength coaches, Tom Halterman and Dick Peterson, that our biggest weakness, our lack of being able to physically block and tackle, we could match up within 1 or 2 years.
Gotcha. Now, your weight program was awesome. I know every year you held weight training competitions. What was your goal in actually having them competitions? Was it to show other teams that we are actually just stronger than you guys, or what?
Well, number one, we needed to get stronger, and we needed to get faster. We just weren't. We just did not get to our peak level of performance with the kids before they were avidly in the weight room. So we wanted to exploit everything we could out of that weight room. I cannot take any credit with the training that happened into the weight room other than I physically got the kids there. The physical training that Tom Halterman devised, that we got a lot of help with Roy Richards, my brother Mark, who was also an assistant, and along with Dick Peterson, and their encouragement really turned that around as far as the weight room production. Now, as far as having the weightlifting competitions, yeah, we wanted to show the kids, hey, we are as good as anybody in the region and anybody in the state. And I think our kids found that out. I'll never forget, we had one weightlifting competition in the early summer where Jared Tomich and Royce Roberson, Royce Love were all there, along with Tom Lukowski, and memory, this is a long time ago,
Gotcha.
But 4 or 5 of those guys hand cleaned over 300 pounds. We had 2 or 3 of them go over 400 on the bench, and it was just unbelievable. And for our kids to be the top 2 or 3 in every event was huge at that point of our development.